Chicago, like most big cities, has its fair share of unsolved crime. And in most of these cases, somebody saw or heard something. It could be a suspicious person, a car driving away from the scene, or simply overhearing somebody talking about the case. With your help, we can put these criminals behind bars where they belong. Here in Chicago, we have too many unsolved murders. We need your help. In these cases, the police department is only as strong as the citizens that get involved. Oftentimes, all the detectives need is a tip, a start. Somebody to call in and say, I saw something. Any little information that you know can be the impetus to solve the entire case. First, we'll take a look at the case of Willie Cook Jr. On February 2nd, 2013, Willie Cook Jr., a loving father, fiance, and Army veteran, went to his fiance's house to pick up his kids. After picking the kids up, at one point, Willie was sitting in the car with one of his sons when two gunmen approached, fired several shots into the car, striking Willie and his son. Here's his story.
Willie was a good man. He was a great father. He loved his children. We were together for 4 years. Actually, our 4-year anniversary was February 7th. The day that we met, I met him at my job. I was working at a grocery store as a cashier, and I was closing my line, and he walked in my line, and my manager was actually standing next to me, and he was like, "You ain't see her just take that $20 out the register?" And then we started laughing, and he was telling me about my smile, and it started from there. And from that day, we were like best friends.
Willie was a man. And it's good to be around someone and watch him grow. And I think at the time when him and my daughter got together, because, you know, they were together for 4 years, I could actually see that. And I really didn't want him to go to Afghanistan. I really didn't. But he said, Mom, I have to do my duty.
Willie was in the National Guard. He actually joined in January of 2009, and we met in February of 2009. So he had just signed up. And, you know, at the beginning, it was supposed to just be like a friendship. Oh, well, we're just gonna be friends. But of course, that led to a relationship, and because at that time, now I know he was enlisted in the military, I didn't really like it, especially when I found out he was going to Afghanistan, knowing that he was gonna have to be away for a year. I was just glad that day in September when he came home. When he finally made it home, that was like one of the best days in my life.
On February 2nd, 2013, Willie Cook Jr., he went to go pick up his son from his fiance.
He was gonna come get Antoine for me, so I told him, you could just meet me at my mom's house. He got Antoine. We both left out at the same time, but we were in 2 separate cars. I went one way, he went the other way.
And as he pulled up to this address at his grandmother's house, at that time, he was in the vehicle with his 2-year-old son, which was in the car seat, right in the back of him.
He texted me at 4:55 that day. I didn't respond until like 5:03, and I never got a response back.
2 unknown suspects came out of the dark, came up to the car while Willie Jr. and his son innocently was sitting inside the vehicle. The unknown suspects shot and killed Willie Cook Jr. and injured his son. They ran off in the dark.
His sister called, and she was kind of hysterical, and she was like, "Have you talked to my brother?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't." And she was like, "Okay, I'm gonna call you back." And I'm like, okay, what's going on? And so I started calling his phone back to back to back to back. And I wasn't getting an answer, so I called her back. I didn't get an answer. By that time, I was already getting in my car to go towards his grandmother's house. His sister had called me back, and she was crying, and she was basically just telling me what happened. And at that time, I was thinking I asked her, like, where's Antoine? And she was like, Antoine was with him? By that time, I started driving. I was almost at his grandmother's house, and that's when I saw all the lights and everything flash. And I pulled up, and I got out my car. I ran down the block. I went through the tape and everything that the police had up. And they stopped me, like, who are you? Where are you going? And I'm like, my son. I'm like, that's Will's car. And my son was in the car with him. Like, he had my son. And the police didn't even know at that time that Antoine was even with him, because someone had took Antoine out the car and already took him to the hospital. I just kept asking, well, where is Will? Where is Will? Because, I mean, you know, hearing from somebody that he's gone, it's like, okay, no, I don't think so. So that's why I asked them, and then they were telling me that he didn't make it.
Have you been in an accident? Have you been the victim of discrimination or had your rights violated? Have you been injured? If so, the lawyers at Hale Law would love to talk to you. We offer a free consultation. Call me, Andy Hale, 312-870-6926. 312-870-6926. I look forward to talking with you about your case.
On February 2nd, 2013, an American hero, not to only our country, but to his family, was gunned down on an unmistaken identity.
He was a young person with a promising future. He came home just ready to do what he had to do as a father, as a fiance, as a son-in-law, and a son. And for someone to have just snatched that away from him on something senseless.
He went to war for a whole year, and came back without a scratch. And not even 6 months later, for him to be taken away and like that, that's not fair. And then to do that right in front of his 2-year-old son, and to also injure his 2-year-old son. It's not fair. It wasn't fair to either one.
When Willie Cook Jr. was gunned down, it brought a community together. It made people want to get out and pay attention to what's going on in our city. We're not gonna let this one go by. We're going to hunt down these individuals. We're gonna find these individuals, and we're gonna bring Willie Cook Jr. case to justice. We have the whole city looking in on this, and we will bring these people to justice. We will not stop until we find who did this to Willie Cook Jr.'s case.
I'm asking the community, people that are out there that may know something, if you would just speak up. For such a promising person and a 2-year-old child, who does that? So I'm pleading with you. If you know anything, please help the East Chicago, Indiana Police solve this, because they deserve justice.
It's like you losing the person that you planned on spending the rest of your life with, and then to have to try to explain to your 2-year-old child why his dad is not here, what that scar is on his leg, what happened, for your 2-year-old son to have to pretend to talk to his dad on the phone. It's hard, and it's hard to even have to try to explain, because of course he doesn't really understand. So just put yourself in my place. the family's place, because we lost a father, a friend, a great family man. We just want someone to say something. Any information, any little information that you think you may have, that you may know, that you may have heard, anything can help. And that's what we need, and that's what I'm begging for, because we need closure. And Willie and Antoine need justice.
At this time, we don't have any information, any descriptions of any suspects. Only thing that we have that we do know that is possibly 2 suspects that struck Willie Cook Jr. down. If you know have any information as far as who the people might be, what vehicle they might have drove, anything that is tainted to this case, if you could contact me, Will Askew Jr. at the East Chicago Police Department, area code 219-391-7007, or our tip line at the East Chicago Police Department, and you can still stay anonymous and help us out on this case. We're not going to let this case go by easily.
I really want them to get justice because they did not deserve this. They didn't deserve this at all.
The cases featured on tonight's episode remain unsolved, and we need your help. If you have any information on tonight's episode or any of the cases featured on the show, please give the detectives a call. We need our communities to come together so we can take back our streets and make our neighborhoods safe again.